We are on.
Welcome, everyone.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Timstar Live webinar series. This is a very sad day because it's the last one before the summer holidays, which I'm sure you're all cheering. So we're obviously going to take a break over July and August as everybody will be out basking in the absolute roasting weather that we're all getting right across the whole of the UK. Claire, I think you're doing the polls on, is it where everybody is based, and they can put a bit into the chat as to where they are and what's happening in their area if they want to add a few bits so that we know who's who.
Wonderful. I'll just launch these now. So yeah, please let us know where you're joining us from and your current role. And if it's not listed there as well, please do use the chat that's open for everybody. And we'd love for you to drop any questions as well as we're going through in the chat. Just whilst this is running as well, the reactions are also open here. So at the bottom of your screen, you'll be able to see that you can interact through reactions. And yeah, hopefully we can kind of get some good feedback throughout as well.
So even though it's very hot weather, I've still got my lovely mug that was given to me by Lynn Morrison at Given Academy, my caffeine mug, which I'm never without. Still drinking my coffee, even though it's absolutely roasting hot in the west of Scotland today. We are starting to reach some temperatures, not as obviously as bad as what's happening in England and Wales and all around the sort of south coast. I'm heading down to Birmingham tomorrow, so anybody that's attending the University School of Birmingham event, I shall see you there, and Hayley's going to be there as well.
Yeah.
So it'd be lovely to see people in person, wouldn't it, Hayley?
It would, yes, it would. It's lovely to do the exhibitions and meet everyone and talk about the work.
Yeah, lots of freebies. So come to the event. There's going to be other events obviously happening that I've mentioned before. I've got Capital City College that I'll be attending in Islington in London on the 10th of July as well. These events are so well attended. You're talking 300 plus and 200 plus science technicians come along to these events. They are super busy. So come and say hello. I know that there's lots of people attend the Timstar webinars. They have grown arms and legs, and I can't thank you enough for attending them. I'm going to keep it very brief today. I have got a table full of lovely Ohaus products that Hayley kindly supplies us with and are extremely popular, and she's obviously going to talk about the balances today, whereas we've done the pH probes the last time. So I am going to keep it short and just hand you over to our lovely Hayley Davis from Ohaus to start the session, and we'll have questions throughout and prizes at the end as well. There'll be a question in the middle and then there'll be a couple of questions at the end. But I just wanted to wish everybody a lovely session. Thank you.
Thanks, Lucienne. I will try to share my screen with you now. If you see my desktop, please ignore that. There we go. So this should be, if you could just let me know if you can see that.
Can't see just at the moment. You have another go, Hayley.
Is it not there?
No, not at the moment.
Okay, bear with me because how's about now?
Okay, and if you click once more,
there we go.
Lovely.
There we go. That was a user error. So thanks for coming on to the seminar today. So I'm Hayley. I'm from Ohaus. I've worked here just over for about 18 months now. Previous to that, I was 20 years in the laboratory supplies industry. So I've known the Ohaus brand for probably worked with them and sold them for around 15 to 16 years now. What we wanted to do today is pop on and just give you a bit of an introduction on Ohaus and the product range, and talk to you about some of the basic weighing definitions that you might come across, how to select the right balance for your lab or your application, how to weigh with confidence, and we'll talk about some of the factors that can influence weighing effectiveness, and we'll talk about some good weighing practices as well. So just a tiny bit about Ohaus, you're probably not going to remember. I'll just scoot over it really quickly. We've been manufacturing weighing balances now for nearly 120 years, and we are part of the Metler Toledo group. For the last 10 to 12 years, we also do laboratory equipment, which I'll quickly show you. We've got lots of different markets. The main hubs that we have is the Netherlands, and all of our stock is held in the Netherlands and shipped out from there. As I mentioned, we are best known for weighing, but for the last 10 to 12 years, we've expanded the product portfolio into laboratory equipment, some of which is on the screen now. Now, this is our Learn More with Ohaus brochure, and these are the products which are most popular and kind of aimed for in the education market. Some of them, hopefully, you may have seen some of the balances, some of the vortex mixers. That's a new range for us, the Vortex Genie. We also have shakers, centrifuges, hot plate stirrers. So just a bit of a reminder there. And I can send you the education flyer as well. What I'll do is I'll send it on to Timstar, and they can forward that on for you. What we'll talk about today then is weighing and how you can maintain and get your accurate and consistent results. The Ohaus portfolio for education includes our portable balances, which are the Compass, the Navigator, and the Scout series. And then one of our laboratory ranges is the PR series, which those ones are not really for student use, I would say. They're generally kept away from the students in the prep room. And the laboratory balances, they're not really designed to be moved anywhere. So a quick overview, the Compass, we've got the CR and the CX. These are battery operated. You can purchase an additional fixed plug AC adapter if you wish. Various different ranges, they go up to 1 decimal place, up to 5,200 grams. They are very, very basic, so you can just do basic weighing on there. The Navigator, these are popular with education. We do have a specific Navigator education model. We've got 2 models, which is the NVE 612 and 2102. And that is 610 and 2,100 gram respectively at 2 decimal place. But the wider Navigator range, we have an NV range up to 2,200 gram, and then the high capacity up to 22 kilo. So there really is something for every most applications that you may be using in the classroom there. The Scout series, now we do have two versions. We have an STX, which we won't talk about. That's the touch screen. That's a bit more costly on there, so it's not really very popular in the education market. But the SKX is the model that we have created, and we do aim that towards the education market. With the SKX, you can do exciting things on there, such as dynamic weighing. You can do density weighing as well. There's lots of different applications that you can use this for, which we can talk about. They are stackable, as well as the Navigator. I forgot to mention they are both stackable, so you can stack them up to 6 high. So they're good for keeping in the prep room, in the storage cupboard. You can stack them up, and then you can get them out as and when you need them for your practicals. And then, as I mentioned, the PR balances, this is more for your prep rooms, away from heavy hands, let's say. With the PR series, you can get up to 1 milligram or 4 decimal place, whichever way you want to say that. And these balances are really not designed to be moved. So once they're in situ, they should really stay in place where they are. They've got easy interface. You can have internal or external calibration on those. So we'll go through some basic weighing definitions and explanations of some of the terms that you might hear, that you might know about, or that you might not know about. So essentially, a weighing scale is also called a balance, or a scale is essentially just a measuring instrument for determining the weight or mass of an object. And you can see there's lots of hieroglyphic Egyptian scriptures and drawings that show the weighing balances. So weighing has been around for a very, very long time. These balances here are the old mechanical scales, which we do still manufacture, and we still manufacture them to this day to the same specification as we did nearly 120 years ago. You may have some weighing scales for your luggage at home, and then we've got the Ohaus electronic scales too. So capacity, the first one is that is the maximum weighing capacity of the balance. Readability or division, that is also incorrectly named precision or displayed resolution by various people. It should actually be the actual scale interval, which is basically the smallest increment of weight that a weighing instrument's digital display can show, or the minimum value between two consecutive indicated values. Repeatability. So this is the analysis or the statistical analysis of placing a weight on the balance over and over again. The more you put you put the same weight on the balance, and you expect to get the same result each time. More higher end balances have better repeatability, and the better the repeatability, the better the balance. Test weight, also known as a calibration weight. So this is a necessary weight that you need to calibrate your balance. The accuracy of the weights is actually defined by their class. So you've got anything from E1, E2, F1, all the way down to M1, M2, and M3. And these M class weights, the M1, M2, M3, are essentially the ones that would be more suitable for use in the classroom setting. The E2, the E1, the F1 weights are more for the kind of higher end, semi-micro, analytical balances. And then we're just going to do a little poll, a little question for you all. So if you just have a quick think now, and then a poll will pop up on the screen, is how often do you calibrate your weighing balance? So if you can just take a moment just to pop your answers on there, that would be great. I think the answers are all
yeah. Hayley, just as with people are filling that in, are you able to, at the bottom of your screen, just click hide for that that option at the bottom there? So it says stop sharing or hide. Can you see that? I'm not sure. If it's too difficult, we can leave it up there. It's just blocking out a little bit of the presentation.
Sorry, there's nothing that says hide.
Oh, on your sorry, on your where you're sharing your presentation, it says that you're sharing your screen.
Oh, apologies.
Not
I'm sorry.
problem.
Yes.
Okay. Right, I'll end the poll now and share these results with everybody. Yeah, so you should be able to see 33% saying never, 47% saying once per year, 14 once per term, and 6% saying each time the balance is moved.
Okay, great.
There we are.
Wonderful. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll go over a few more questions, and then we've got a little video of how to calibrate the balance at the end of the scout balances at the end. If we've got time, we can play that. But calibrating your balance. So calibrating your balance, it should be done as soon as you have unpacked it, as soon as it's arrived, and when you've placed it in situ. If it's a laboratory balance, it really does depend on how often you are using the balance. Some SOPs are written in that you need to have calibration once a year. But with the portable balances, what you should be doing is every time it's moved, so when it's inside a cupboard and then you pop it out for the lessons, it should be recalibrated then, because each time it's moved, it will kind of essentially it is outside of calibration. But normal laboratory weighing balances, people, you can get away with doing it once a year if it's regulated, but we'll go a bit more through on the calibration later on a couple more slides.
Hi, Hayley.
We'll just go through the.
I've got a question for you.
Oh, okay.
Is that all right? It's
Yeah.
come from Fiona B. So is E best and M worst?
Sorry, what was that?
Is E the best and M is the worst?
Okay. So I can go over the calibration classes if you wish. So yes, so E1, they are used for calibrating other reference standards in calibration labs. So an E1 weight you probably would never come into contact with. An E2 weight is for calibrating high precision and analytical and semi-micro balances that have readings as low as 0.1 milligram to 0.01 milligram. Your F1 calibration weights is for calibrating precision balances or high precision top loading balances with readabilities kind of as 0.01 gram to 0.001 gram. But with the M weights, the M weights are scale calibration weights for general lab, industrial, commercial, technical, education use, used in the classroom setting where just a simple weight calibration is needed and it's not going to have any kind of detrimental effect. But yes, the E1s are the more accurate weighing weights, calibration weights.
Got another question, Hayley.
Yeah.
I think from Fiona B again. I would like to calibrate them, but not sure what set of test weights to buy.
Okay. If you can send the details over to Lucienne rather than we go on it now, if that's okay. If you can send that to Lucienne at Timstar, if you can let me know the make and model of your balance, what the maximum capacity is and the readability, we can definitely determine the best weights for you.
Excellent. And I will get my email address in the chat so that everybody knows where to forward that on.
Yeah, I mean, and as with if you have any questions or any queries, you're not sure which balance is suitable for your lab or for your needs or for your application, please speak with Lucienne, and Lucienne can liaise with me, and we can help you out.
I've just popped it in the chat, so it's lucian.mccallum@wf-education.com. Please send any questions that you want, and I will get them answered for you. Thank you, Hayley. On to you.
So with the calibration is a way of adjusting the measuring instrument to a reference point, and the reference point here would be the calibration weight. You are adjusting the balance to a known weight, a known value. Calibrations need to be done when the balance is first purchased and delivered. So if it's as soon as it's unpacked and calibrated and delivered, unpacked, it's in situ, you can calibrate it then. Regularly, if you are using it every day, so if it is something that you're using it every day, you can just pop your calibration weight on. It takes a couple of minutes, not too much at all. And also before the first use or after you've stored it or after you've moved it as well. Calibration then, there's different types. So it can be manual, which is adjusting a screw. These are very, very old balances. None of the Ohaus balances uses this anymore. Any of the electronic Ohaus balances uses that anymore. The manual adjustment with the screw is for mechanical only. External, so the user will need to get the calibration weight and you just pop that on the platform. Because it's a known calibration weight, the balance knows what weight you're putting on there. It will adjust itself then to display the correct value. and there's internal calibration. So with Ohaus, we've got in-cal, which is an internal calibration. There is an internal calibration weight on the load cell or inside the balance, and the balance will calibrate itself using that internal calibration weight upon the operator request or when it's switched on, however you've got the balance set up to do so. We've also got a thing on some of our balances, which is AutoCal, which is fully automated. The balance will calibrate itself via the same internal weight, but it will automate it when it detects a big fluctuation in the temperature, which is going to be important enough to affect the measurement of to affect any measurement. You can have it set to calibrate itself after a predefined length of time, or you can do that upon operator request, or you can do it when it's switched on. So with the electronic balances with AutoCal, you can set it depending on your preference.
Got another question, Hayley?
Yeah.
So Alexander has said, we have a bunch of scouts that we transport to and from our prep room to the lab when students are having an experiment. Should we calibrate each time they are moved?
So any balance should be calibrated each time it's used, yes. That is the recommendation. Yes.
Perfect, thank you.
I know in the classroom settings it's not always practical. You're not always going to have the time, but that is the general rule of thumb is to calibrate one every time it's moved. Yeah.
Got a thank you from Alexander.
No problem. So gross net tear, you may hear these words and not understand fully. So gross is the complete weight of the entirety of the weight that's placed on the balance pan. The net is the weight of just the item, and the tear is the weight of just the box or the container. And that's important. The weight of the box or the container that you're weighing in is important to know before you choose a balance, because you have to make sure you factor in the weight of that container, because that will take up some of the maximum capacity of the balance. So choosing the right balance, you've just got to think about first, why do you need the balance? Is it in an education setting? Is it school? Is it university? There's lots of other applications as well. We probably may not need to go through today, but industrial, R&D, food testing, pharmaceutical, biopharma, etc. What level of precision do you need? You've got your semi-micro and your analytical balances, which are 0.01 and 0.1 milligram respectively, or in old money, 5 decimal place or 4 decimal place. These have a high degree of accuracy and precision. However, they do need a really stable environment to get accurate measurements. With a precision balance, that's 1 milligram to 0.1 gram. You can get the high capacities on there, and generally they are a bit more robust than the semi or the analytical, but they are less precise.
Hayley, there's a question that's just quickly come in the Q&A. So Jules has asked, does it affect the scales if they're all being stored in a box on top of each other?
It wouldn't be great, yes. In some balances or Ohaus balances, you've actually got a transport lock, which you lock you take the pan off and you lock it so it stops if there is any pressure that's loaded onto the pan during transportation or during storage. It should take the weight off the load cell, but you just need to make sure that you're not placing too many on each other, because that can have an effect on the load cell, because load cells, depending on the type of load cell you've got as well, it may have an effect, and you may kind of damage the load cell like that. So yes, we wouldn't recommend stacking them kind of on top of each other in a box. With the Ohaus Navigator and the Scouts, they are actually supplied. I don't think I've got one to show you. They're supplied with a plastic stacking cover in each box, so you can put the plastic cover on and you can stack them then 6 high should you need to. And we do that just to basically protect the balance, to protect the load cell.
Wonderful. Thank you, Hayley.
Got another question
Yeah.
coming in from Claire Perkins. I recall being told that you have to use a specific calibration weights depending on the brand, i.e. not to use an Ohaus labelled weight with other brands of balance, even if they are both 200 grams. Is this the case, or can you use them so long as they are the correct calibration weight?
Yeah, you can use them if it's a calibration weight, you know that is a 200 gram calibration weight. As long as you are using the correct class for your balance, it shouldn't really matter if you're using a different brand. Because if you think if you've got a laboratory balance and you get an external company come in and calibrate your balance, they're not going to have specifically that particular branded calibration weight to do the calibration. They will have their certified calibration weights to calibrate your balance, and they will use those to calibrate every balance in the lab. So no, you don't need to stick to the same brand. As long as it's the correct classification of weight, and as long as it's the correct weight according to your balance, you'll be fine.
Excellent. Thank you, Hayley.
No problem. And the next question you need to think about is how much capacity you need. We mentioned the maximum capacity of the balance. You need to remember to include the weight of any containers that you might be using, because the weight, the maximum capacity will include the weight of your weighing container as well. So just bear that in mind. If you've got a 120 gram balance and you've got a glass container that you want to weigh into, it's probably not going to be suitable. So you would just need to think about that. Are you working in a demanding or regulated environment? Do you need user management? Do you need password protection? Do you need data traceability, GLP, GMP compliance? Do you need to be able to access the system log? Do you need to monitor the calibration log? Do you need a minimum weight function? Is there any special applications that you need? A check weighing function, for instance, or dynamic or animal weighing function? So again, need to think about those, because we have something that would probably be suitable. And then other things to consider. Do you want internal or do you want external calibration? We have both. What kind of communication ports do you need? RS-232, we can support USB or Ethernet. Do you want a touch screen? Do you not want a touch screen? Do you want to have any accessories such as a printer attached? So lots of other things to consider. With the Scout series, this is if you just see there, you can see the plastic stackable cases that we supply with all of our Scout series. We have designed these specifically for classroom use for various reasons. One, they are stackable. They have a superior overload protection, so they can handle 10 times the weight capacity level of force. So really, really robust. I actually have one on my demo stock, and I do punch it quite frequently just to show how robust that they are. So good for heavy-handed students. You've got a large backlit display. They're easy to use. The overload protection, as I've mentioned, is 10 times the maximum capacity. The Scouts also have a integral underweighing or below weigh hook, which is good for applications such as oscillation or any underweighing that you need to do. If you have got Scout balances and you're not sure if you've got one, go back and check them. If you turn them upside down and have a look where the batteries go, take the battery case off, and if you look in there in the lid of the case, there is a underhook, and you'll get that with every single Scout balance. We have a transportation lock, which I mentioned. So you would take off the weighing pan, and there is a little lock in there that you can lock the weighing pan. So when you are storing it, if you are moving from lab to lab, you can protect the balance and you can protect the load cell from any movement. And there is a test weight that we do include for some of the Scout SKX models, and that's up to anything up to 620 gram. We will provide a test weight. These are the different models that we have for the Scout balance. So you can see up to 3 decimal place, we have 120 gram capacity. 2 decimal place, we go from 220 up to 2,200 gram. 1 decimal place, you can go up to 6,200 gram, and then you've got the 1 gram, which is just over 8 kilo. And you'll see here, we will always suggest the correct classification of weight to go with that particular balance. And with the Scout in the classroom setting, it is the M1 weight classes that we suggest. The asterisk is there because these are we actually supply that calibration weight with those balances. Another thing which is good for the Scout SKX series, there's a couple of things that we find popular is you can, with the optional density kit as an accessory, you purchase it separately as an accessory, you can measure density of products. So the way that works is you would have the kit, which consists of a black plate that goes over where the weighing pan would have sat, and then you've got the hook. Essentially, you will take the weight of the product in air, and then you'll take the weight of the product in water, and it will calculate the specific gravity or the density for you. You can use it for your weight and mass experiments. So you can actually generate real-time graphs with the optional USB interface kit that's available. So with using the underhook, you can do the simple harmonic motion oscillation, and it will generate a real-time graph that looks something a little bit like this. So you'll be able to see it, the classroom will be able to see it real time. You can project that onto your screen. Mass loss over time, again, you pop the USB interface kit in, we can help you set up the Excel graph, and it will automatically, we can set the balance to automatically send the weight loss data into an Excel graph, and then it will generate a live real-time graph there for you. So these are your hydrochloric calcium carbonate kind of mass loss experiments. The next one is weighing with confidence. So this is going to go over some of the issues that can affect weighing effectiveness. So airflow and drafts. If you've got airflows and drafts, if you're underneath an air conditioning or next to a fan, you are going to get unstable results and you're going to get poor repeatability. How do we reduce the effect of airflow? If you can, use a draft shield when you're doing your weighing. Don't weigh near any air conditioning or any fans or any open windows. Don't weigh in busy areas. So if you've got somewhere that's got a lot of traffic, people coming in and out, doors opening, doors closing, don't weigh in the busy areas. And keep the balance away from any excess heat sources. Again, away from the window on days like today, that's going to heat up the balance and affect the weighing.
Got another question, Hayley, sorry.
Yeah.
From Darren, what is the sample rate of the underhook and is it adjustable? The simple harmonic motion graph didn't look much like simple harmonic motion.
So that wasn't that was just an example that I found on there, but the underhook was will have the same weighing capacity as the balance. So if you've got a 2 kilo weighing balance, it would be 2 kilos. Okay, thank you, Hayley. Yeah, the moving graph, that was just actually it wasn't a live one that I had. It was just one that I got off the internet just to kind of show you that's what it kind of would look like. But yeah, the underhook weighing capacity matches the weighing capacity of the balance.
Excellent, thank you.
So temperature. Temperature can have an effect on the weighing results, so you can get drift. So that's your unstable readings, poor repeatability, and it only takes between plus or minus 1.5 degrees that can cause an issue. So if the temperature that you're weighing in increases or decreases by 1.5 degrees, it can cause an issue with your repeatability and drift. So what we need to do is keep the balance away from excess heat sources. That can be anything like a fridge that's blowing out hot air at the back, or any direct sunlight. Try and maintain a regular temperature in the lab, away from heaters, away from direct sunlight. If the balance has just been turned on, give it a while time to warm up. So this is more for your kind of laboratory balances. If it's a semi-micro balance that you've got, we recommend you leaving that on, turning it on overnight, and then giving it time to warm up. Calibrate the balance if the temperature, if there's been a big shift in temperature. And using a balance with internal or automatic calibration does make things a lot easier, because you can just press a simple button and it will do it all for you. Moisture and evaporation. So it's specifically important, or especially important, to watch out for when you're weighing liquids or small samples. As the sample evaporates, the weight can drift and the balance itself could even be damaged. Always try to weigh quickly. Use closed containers where possible, and make sure you use the right tools. For example, some Ohaus balances, such as the Explorer models, they have special evaporation traps to minimize the issue. Electrostatics. So electrostatic charges, they can interfere with weighing by causing drift and instability, giving you wrong results. This happens often when using plastic containers or tweezers. To reduce the effect of static, try to keep the lab humidity below between 40 to 60%. Use metal containers when at all possible. If static is a regular problem, consider using an ionizer. Some balances you get can even be supplied with a built-in ionizer, and that is what a kind of additional accessory ionizer looks like. Vibrations. So vibrations can also cause unstable readings or even damage your balance. Make sure that the balance is placed on a sturdy, dedicated weighing table in low traffic area. Of course, this is for your laboratory balances that are not going to be moved anywhere. In the classroom settings, some of these things are not possible, I know, and I understand that, but where possible, make sure you try and weigh your you weigh on a stable weighing table or a weighing desk. Try and avoid using the table for anything else, so don't be leaning on it while you're weighing. Don't have a student at the other end writing a big essay, because those vibrations will have an effect on the weighing as well. The floor the table sits on also does matter, so try to avoid placing it near machinery or high vibration zones, next to a centrifuge that's spinning and vibrating for half of the day. Just be a bit conscious on whereabouts you're placing it. And then this is really for mainly some of your higher end, your semi-micro, your micro balances. Gravity can be a factor. If you're moving it, when we say a different location, the gravitational pull is different all around the country. So that's the kind of the thing we're getting at. If you're moving it from one lab to another in the school, the gravitational pull is not going to have much of an effect. But small differences in local gravity can lead to incorrect results. So to avoid it, just make sure your balance is always level. Calibrate it regularly. and use the built-in gravity adjustment function if that is available on your balance, particularly for any industrial or portable weighing. So again, this is general good weighing practices then, and some of them will need to be taken with a pinch of salt when you're using the portable balances, because some of these suggestions are not just generally not they're not practical for a classroom setting. So place the balance in a separate weighing room, away from drafts, away from vibrations, away from the human kind of footfall, the high traffic areas.
Just a quick one, Hayley, sorry, just while you're on vibrations, that there's a message come in from Claire. What about the vibration in a fume cupboard?
So, good question. Fume cupboards are a tricky one, although not impossible. On certain balances, you have a filter level. So what you can do to kind of mitigate the vibrations and the airflow in a fume cabinet, fume hood, some balances have a filter level which you can adjust. And what that basically means is you can tell the balance not to change the deviation on the screen until it gets to sort of 3 or 4 decimal places, depending on the type of balance. But there is functions that can try to mitigate the effects of weighing in a fume hood. I can send you some information. I'll send that to Lucienne actually, on how to mitigate that.
Yep, no problem. I'll get that sent out.
Because obviously it's not an ideal place to be weighing, but it is, sometimes it's essential. It is an essential application that you do need to be weighing in a weighing fume hood. So yeah, I'll send you some information on that. I'll make a note. And then I'll send it to you, Lucienne, if that's okay.
Yeah, perfect, Hayley. Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so placing a weighing room free from drafts and vibrations. Try to use a dedicated weighing table if you can. If you got one of the high-end 4 or 5 decimal place balances, you may have seen some of the big marble slabs and the marble weighing tables. That is to mitigate any vibrations or to absorb any little vibrations. Level the balance if it can be leveled whenever it's been moved, because we just need to make sure that the balance is level to get accurate results. Calibrate the balance in order to make sure that you've got proper and accurate results. The AutoCal helps to compensate environment related changes and will automatically calibrate your balance should you have AutoCal built in. Automatic adjustment if the temperature, the automatic adjustment is based on the temperature, or it's time triggered, or you can time trigger it, so you can do it however you wish, or it's user generated. Always when you are weighing, make sure you place the sample in the center of the weighing pan to avoid any eccentricity errors. So don't pop it on the edge. Make sure it's in as much in the center as you can be. Keep the draft, if you've got the balance with a draft shield, keep that closed at all times unless you are performing a measurement. We actually, all of the Ohaus balances, anything 1 milligram or 3 decimal place, anything 3 decimal place and above, will be supplied with a draft shield. So keep that closed, only open it when you are doing the measurements. And just take general wear and tear, general maintenance, take care of it. Keep the weighing pan and the weighing chamber clean. Only use clean vessels for weighing. Do not brush any contaminants into any potential openings in the balance. So we'll know that the weighing pans can be taken off. Make sure you try not to get any kind of debris down that will go into the balance or into the load cell. Use a balance cover if you have one, or one of the stacking covers when it's not in use. And I think so I do have a short video now. I don't know how long I've been. I don't know if we've got time. There is a video on here. Let me stop it. It's just showing you, if you are not already familiar with weighing balances or how to calibrate the balance, we've just got a short video. It's 3 minutes on how to calibrate a Scout balance with the calibration weight, and it will also talk you through the transportation lock as well. I'm not sure if we've got time, so
plenty of time. Still got 14 minutes, Hayley.
Oh, okay, I'll play that. Can you hear?
No sound that we can.
Right, now,
that
how will I can hear the sound. Now I don't know how I get that to you. I mean, I can talk through it anyway.
And yeah, the slides will be available also for everybody afterwards, and we can ensure that this can to everyone. But if you're happy to explain what's happening alongside.
We can explain. So we've just taken the box out, and you've got the weighing pan, the power supply, and the calibration weight. You've got an LFT lock, so if it's a it's an approved balance, this is where your weighing hook will be. So if you do have a Scout and you're not sure if you've got a weighing hook, that's where it will be. And there was a little button that you take the cap off, the red cap underneath, and you can just screw that in. There is always, when you take it fresh out the box, the label to tell you where the transportation lock is, and you'll see he's just taken the transportation lock off, which protects the balance. And then this is the weighing pan just being placed on. Before you do that all before you switch the balance on. It's being powered up. And this is where he's going to do the calibration. So if I do, can I? Oh, I don't want to touch it. So this is, you get to say, do you want to do a span calibration or a linear? The span calibration will be with the one calibration point, and the balance will know what calibration weight it needs. So it's just flagged up 200 there. You pop the 200 calibration weight on, and it will just readjust itself, and it's done. So that is how simple and how quick it is to perform a span calibration on the Scout balance. To be honest, I can't hear him very well, but this is he's just getting the stackable case as well, which would go on top of the balance. This is the STX. So this is the touchscreen Scout that we have. It's not very popular with education, but it's just talking you through how to calibrate this one as well. This one has a touchscreen, and it's just taking you through here. It's telling you place a 200 gram weight on the pan. You pop it on, take the weight off, and there we go. And the calibration is done. So it can be as quick as that with the Scout balances. And as I say, I'll stop that now. But all of our Scout balances up to 620 gram, it will be supplied with the relevant calibration weight.
I did get a little message from Ivan, who I know from a lovely school in Edinburgh. He did say, sorry to intervene, normally in Zoom settings there should be an option to allow audio during a Zoom session. So he was just giving a little bit of help, Hayley. But
thank you. I'll bear that in mind, because I'm not very good with Zoom, so I do apologise. But you kind
there's
of
always somebody willing to give us some help out there.
Yeah. Oh, always welcome. Always welcome. The link will be on the slide, so if you did want to just have a quick watch of it in your own time, you can. That is just taken from the Ohaus Corporation YouTube channel, And on there, honestly, there is so many how-to videos with our Scout balances, the navigators. It will show you how to do use some of the features, some of the settings. So head over to the YouTube channel. It is really useful if you've got a spare few minutes.
It's got another question from Alexander. Sorry, Hayley. It's
no, come on.
The light on the spirit level turned on in the video. Is this a new feature of the Scouts? Our current ones don't do that.
No, because that one, I think that one, was it the second one, this one?
Yeah, the light on the first one, he said.
Oh, the first one, okay. Let's have a look.
The light on the spirit level turned on.
Okay.
Is that
I have never seen the light on my level bubble either. So let me double check. Let me double check on that.
Okay, good question.
I hadn't even noticed that. So let me check.
Okay, perfect. I'll get an answer to you, Alexander.
Yes. Oh yeah, we'll get back to you on that one. Good spot.
Excellent.
Any more questions, feel free to let me know. If you've got anything that comes up after this call, message Lucienne. I can pop my email address as well onto the slide. So if you wanted to message me directly about anything, that's not a problem. You can do.
Yep. Got another question from Claire. Does it matter how old the balances are? We have 2 old blue Scout Pros.
No, as long as they're still working and they're still calibrating correctly and they're still accurate, doesn't matter how old they are. And just out of interest, how old are your Scouts? Because I think the oldest one we found in an education setting, I think it was from the 1980s. So if we've got an even older one, that would be perfect.
Another question for you from Joe. We have a PR series 4 decimal place. Hang on, it just jumped there. Let me get back to that question. Yep, here we are. We have a PR series 4 decimal place. How can I tell if it has an internal calibration or not? Or do I just have to go through the calibration menu to find out?
Okay, so good question. If you have a look at the label on your balance, if it's a PR, was it a 4 decimal place? Was it a 224 or a 124?
4 decimal place balance, yeah, PR.
Yep. Okay, so the way to tell, if you have a look on the label of the balance, if there is a hyphen, so a slash, sorry, not a hyphen, a slash E. The E stands for external. So if it's a PR124/E, that has external calibration. If it's a PR124 on its own, that's internal. So that's an easier way than going through the calibration settings. You can just check the label. So external balance, external calibration has a /E on the end of the model number.
Perfect. Thank you from Joe. And we've got another one here from Trish. Our blue Scout balances were here when I arrived in 2005.
Okay.
And then
yeah, so I mean, I've actually not seen one of the blue Scout balances in the flesh. So yeah, we're a product of our own success, really, because we do make balances and they do last, and you know, you don't need to replace. I should tell you, yes, you need to replace them and buy a new one, really. But no, no. As long as it's calibrating, you're getting accurate results. It's reliable. You're getting good repeatability. It's fine. Keep using it.
Yeah, good product, robust, and lasts forever.